Welcome to the Daily for Monday, October 24th with Greg Lawless. I'm Jason Segini. Headed into the weekend, we knew all 10 teams that were in the playoff field, but there was still a lot to be settled. So let's take a look at how it all shook out. In D.C., Kansas City looking for the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, Greg. They needed a win, and they got it.
Yeah, they did, and they put out a really good performance. I think they came out and did exactly what they had to do. You could see their attack all was gelling toward the second half of the season, but it ends up being a defender, Matt Beasler, who's having a career season. Let's not forget, he was also an all-star back in July. He ends up getting the winning goal that gives them first place. They go from last to first in the second half of the season once they started playing at Livestrong Sporting Park.
Dwayne De Rosario wasn't able to score a goal in that game, but he did end up with the Golden Boot because Chris Wondolowski was only able to get one out in his game in San Jose.
Yeah, what a game by the Earthquakes, though, in their final match of the season. They come out flying. They jump all over FC Dallas. Now, to be fair, FC Dallas did play some of their reserves in this one. They left some of their big boys at home to rest up for the playoffs because they were already in. But San Jose, they go out, and really the only suspense here was, would Chris Wondolowski get 2 goals to pass Dwayne De Rosario? In the end, he gets 1. It's from the penalty spot. He comes very close a couple other times. The only thing that kept him from winning a second straight Golden Boot, Chris Seitz of Dallas in the net. He had a terrific game. 2 big stops. Wondo hit the woodwork on another one. In the end, he can only get 1. He ties with De Rosario, and because of the assists that De Rosario had, De Ro gets the Golden Boot.
All right, so Dallas is lost now, and Real Salt Lake drawing their game means Real Salt Lake gets the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. They'll play the number 2 seed, Seattle Sounders FC, and Seattle now with a little bit of a worry coming off of the weekend.
Yeah, they get a big win down at the Home Depot Center, where, by the way, the MLS Cup Final will be played in November. But it is the injury to Mauro Rosales in the first half. Ben Zemanski comes in late on a tackle, and he gets him in the knee. He's stretchered off in the first half. Early word is that maybe it's just a shock or a little bit of fear, but not necessarily an actual injury that will keep him out. We'll have to keep a good tab on that this week. Stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com for what's going to happen with that.
Okay, that's 2 and 3 in the West. 2 and 3 in the East wasn't decided until last night. In Houston, the Dynamo taking on the LA Galaxy. The Galaxy fielding a team of reserves here as well, but Houston gets the win they needed.
Well, the Galaxy with their reserves, including Jack McBean, the 16-year-old who gets his first MLS goal. But Houston put in a very good performance. They end up with a 3-1 victory. Adam Moffett with a screamer from about 40 yards into the upper 90. Brad Davis gets an assist on a goal from Carlo Costly that actually gives Brad Davis the final season lead in the assists. He passes David Beckham with 16 on the season, a career high for Davis. But I also think that what this did for Houston was huge in terms of confidence. They jumped from 5th to 2nd in the Eastern Conference just with those 3 points. And afterward, Dominic Kinnear, the coach, said, we are ready for the playoffs. And he actually said they've been ready for a while. Some of us have been a little down on Houston, but you know what? They got that win up in Portland. Now they beat LA. They're feeling very confident, and they will be the home field advantage come the conference semifinal.
Yeah, definitely a team that finished the season on an up note. Let's take a look now at how the wildcard games for this week played out, and it's FC Dallas with the first wildcard seed against the New York Red Bulls on Wednesday night. That game is 9 p.m. Eastern time on Fox Soccer Channel.
Well, let's not forget, so New York snuck in their last game of the season. They put in a pretty good performance in that one against Philadelphia. Dallas kind of struggled toward the end. They got a little bit of rest, but then let's not forget what happened to them against Toronto at home in the CONCACAF Champions League. Then they go up to San Jose in their final game of the season and get shellacked by the Quakes. Is there a question or a crisis of confidence maybe still with FC Dallas? Look, they have all the talent in the world, we know that, but so do New York. New York gets Thierry Henry back from suspension. They will have their starting lineup exactly the way Hans Backe wants them to be as they go into this game.
And the other game, of course, Thursday night, the Columbus Crew will travel to Dick's Sporting Goods Park to take on the Colorado Rapids, and that game 10 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday on the Direct Kick package.
Jason, all season long I think there have been questions about the Colorado Rapids and people sort of saying, well, they're up, they're down, they can never really find a rhythm, they never play that style of play that we saw maybe in the final of MLS Cup last year, and Connor Casey gets injured. But this is a Rapids team that is feeling pretty good about themselves, I think. They got a good victory over the weekend, they came back to get the win. Now they're going to host that game in altitude at Dick's Sporting Goods Park against a team that I think they feel they can beat. Columbus, on the other hand, another up and down team all season. Remember, they were in first place mid-season here, and then they had that huge swoon later on, but now they've come back a little bit more. Now they're starting to play a little bit better. So is this a Columbus team that's going to be the one that was in first place in the midseason, or is it a team that still is struggling to find their real rhythm?
All right, we'll break down all the matchups on Extra Time Radio later today. You can get it on iTunes or Buzzsprout, and we'll be back on the Daily tomorrow.